Remember that another way to find the velocity or speed of an object was to use video analysis within Logger Pro. This is a first semester video of a constant velocity hover puck. Let's watch it go. All right. So what we would have done is use the video analysis tools. The first thing we do is set the origin. So by default it's down here, so anytime I click it kind of sends this in the positive direction. Now I'm going to completely ignore this positive direction thing, break the rules, and turn this around so that the positive x-axis is in the direction that this thing is actually moving. So that's number one. And then I'm going to move it over here so we kind of get it going. So instead of the positive direction, this is just in the video I was watching. So, but I'm actually going to set this as the positive x so that we have a positive slope. And then I'm going to set the scale. Remember, without setting the scale, the computer only knows to read pixels. So I'm going to scan from here to here, and it'll say how long is that. You need to be told how long that is. In this case, that's 1 meter. So that's why we always try to put a meter stick in the video. And now I've set that scale. Now what we'll do is kind of move this along. We'll wait for Mr. Hoverpuck. Excellent. And then we can use this button and just kind of click on the front of it. Do we have to do every one? No. You could. Some of you like to do that. But what will happen here is it will plot the position according to my axis here for every time as the video proceeds. And then we should be able to watch or to look at the position versus time graph to get the speed of this object. I don't know, is that enough? Sure. Okay, so number one, here's the position versus time graph. If you look at this, the y direction was this way, so we don't care about the y direction. We're looking at the x position only versus time. And then if I auto scale, this is what I got. Okay? Now part of the reason it goes through this is I never really set the 0 time. I could have gone back and said, let's sync the 0 time on the graph to the 0 time on there. But I'm just really worried about the slope here. So if I set this as a linear model, what I have here is this slope. And the questions, is this model. The questions below are going to ask you about that. So notice what we have here is the position equals slope times time plus intercept. And it's the slope that's going to be useful for us. Another graph is if we switch to the x velocity over time. This is a little sloppy for these first couple points, but what we notice here is that don't pay too much attention about these points and I'll auto scale, is that for the most part, starting about here, it's going to ask you a question about the velocity versus time graph and what does this graph show about the velocity versus time graph. And those are the two graphs that can be used for the questions below, and some of these graphs are reproduced.